What's up, everybody? It's your guy Q, the movie collector, here again, back with another 4K review video for you guys. And on today's video, it's gonna be a doozy. So this is third. This is the third in the pipeline of Arrow and Warner Brothers collaboration efforts on the Jason franchise. So the next one we got up in line is Jason X. So I've got a pretty big history with this movie. I'll start off from, this goes back to, I want to say 2001. I want to say 2001, maybe early 2002. So my best friend, Cody, I know you watching. So my best friend, Cody, um, he was one of the friends that I had at the time that had a computer, and Cody would make us mixtape CDs and all types of stuff. But that's a story for another day. But anywho, so every now and then I would go over to Cody's house, and I would spend the night or whatnot. And Cody would also have the dibs on the movies, man. So how I got introduced to Jason X, I'll never forget it. We were at school one day, and we're sitting in, I think it was keyboarding class, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was keyboarding. And Cody was like, "Man, you know that new Jason movie?" I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "I got it." I said, "For real?" I said, "Is it a good copy?" He was like, "Yeah, it's one of the best copies I've ever gotten." So at the time, you gotta remember, this was the internet download era. So you had your stuff like LimeWire, you had Morpheus, you had a few other things. Okay, he had Morpheus. So um, I'll never forget it. We went to his house, and I went and slept over one night, and we sat there and watched it. He had already seen it plenty of times before, and I can remember thinking, "Oh my god, this movie is not even in theaters yet." So the movie pretty much leaked on the internet before it even went to theaters. I have a strong feeling that that's probably why the movie didn't do nearly as great in the theaters, because everyone had already seen it. We had already seen the entire cut of the movie. And I'm pretty sure somebody lost their job because of it. I'm 1000% positive somebody dropped the ball on that. But anyway, getting into the movie. So, even though at the time period, a lot of us horror fans were anticipating a Freddy versus Jason film that had been rumored for years since the release of Jason Goes to Hell. We knew there was rumors in the pipeline. There had been multiple scripts and everything actually done for the film, um, but it never materialized. Instead, we got Jason X. Um, Now, how I feel about the movie, we'll get into that soon. But what the movie follows is, it starts out ironically. I believe the year was actually 2010, and Jason is pretty much in a facility where they've ran all these tests on him to try to figure out how to kill him. And This rich guy, who is played by David, the mastermind, David Cronenberg of all people. He's played by David Cronenberg, and he shows up and says, "We're taking him off your hands. He's going to become part of our property now." And the lady's like, "No, you can't take him. He's too dangerous." And from there, Jason goes on his rampage. And then the girl, she ends up kind of containing him in a cryogenic freeze, but then not before he manages to stab her with the machete. And all of the cryogenic stuff starts leaking into the room, and they're both frozen for over 400 years. And so the time jumps, and they're discovered, and they're brought back aboard this ship where they're pretty much thawed out, and her wounds are healed by their fascinating ant technology. that pretty much seals up the stab wound and everything. And Jason pretty much, he reanimates the minute he thaws out. And what happens the minute he thaws out is, in my opinion, one of the best kills in the entire franchise. He basically takes the girl's head, puts it into like a cryogenic something, and it freezes her face, and he smashes it and then just throws her body like it's nothing. That right there, to me, honestly, I know a lot of people have a lot of love for Kane Hodder as Jason, and he is, in fact, the best person to ever play Jason. But it was that kill in particular, in the manner that he did it, that sealed the deal for me to say, hey, this is my favorite actor to ever play Jason, period. So anywho, it goes on, and he's killing everybody on this ship. And that's the other thing this movie doesn't get enough credit for. If you're a fan of like kill counts and whatnot, I believe this movie actually holds, technically, it's got the highest kill count out of any Friday the 13th film, period. So then Jason's pretty much killed everybody, and then next thing you know, the survivors pretty much, they use the android to take him down. He's basically dead. And I guess computer malfunctions. The ants get a hold of his body and brings him back as Uber Jason. One of the craziest looking versions of Jason, period. I will say this much. I wasn't a fan of the look of Jason for the first half of the film. I just felt like it was very cheaply done. I wasn't a fan of the way he looked in this movie. But the Uber Jason looked badass. There's no mistaking about it. He looked badass. And so the movie goes on. You get like a small little homage to the older Friday the 13th films. And the movie ends on a good note. Kind of teasing what could happen next with Uber Jason, but we never got to see that. But this movie gets a lot of hate. And understandably, it does. I mean, the movie didn't look like it had the biggest budget in the world, but at the same time, the way I always look at it is like, I look at it kind of like a horror take on a sci-fi television show. That's what it kind of looks like to me. It's like a television show. Even with Harry Manfredini's score, it makes you feel like you're watching like an episode of Star Trek. I know that's a horrible comparison, but that's how I feel. The one thing I always tell people when they watch this movie, don't take it seriously. You just cannot take it seriously. Anytime a horror character goes into space, you cannot take that seriously. Period. You just can't. Just sit back, have some popcorn, a drink, and enjoy the show. Just don't take it seriously. Where this ranks on my favorite Fridays is not dead last, believe it or not. It's not. It's not dead last. Now, it may be second or third from the last, but it's not dead last to me. I enjoy Jason X. I enjoy it because it's fun. It's a fun horror film. Put it that way. Now, let's get into the extras here. They loaded this thing up. You get a lot of special features in here. You get like an introduction by Kane Hodder, which is hilarious because he chokes you. You get, let's see, there's brand new audio commentary from film historians Michael Felcher and Steve Uncle Creepy Barton, which I here's the thing. I don't really listen to audio commentaries. I should start actually doing that more often, but the audio commentary between those two are pretty good on Jason Goes to Hell as well as Jason X. You also get audio commentary from director Jim Isaac, which sadly, I think 10 years after its release, he passed from cancer, I think it was. But it's also featuring the writer Todd Farmer and producer Noel Cunningham. Scoring the Stars, which I thought that was a pretty good featurette with Harry Manfredini. He talks about how much fun he had with scoring this film, probably the most fun he's had ever scoring a film because it was different. It was in space, and he had to think of a lot of different things, and he had fun with it. And then you get a lot of documentaries that were featured on the Scream Factory release. So this thing is loaded. But let's get into the the 4K transfer. I will say this. Unless you're a huge fan of the Friday the 13th franchise and you got to collect them all when it comes to the Arrow movies because they look nice, all three of them together, hopefully four. They look good together. But unless you're a diehard fan, this is not worth getting. I would say wait for a sale. I would definitely wait for a sale. Now, the 4K itself, they say it was scanned from the original camera elements. And it probably was. But the way I felt with watching this, you can see a little bit of the upgrade. It's a hair bit of an upgrade. It's not something that's going to blow you away. It looked good in certain areas, but then it mainly just still looked flat to me. It just looked really flat to me. If you have the Friday the 13th set from Scream Factory, you're good. You're definitely good. Both this and that one that's in that set, they both look good. They both look great. But as far as for 4K, this was alright. It was alright. The sound's still the same that came from that Blu-ray, which still sounded pretty good. But it has Dolby Vision HDR as well as HDR10. I couldn't really see the benefit in it. I'm just being honest. There just wasn't enough highlight potential to me. And that's why I have to say that this is worth getting unless you want it a part of your collection. Or if you wait for a sale. Point blank, period. I'm hoping that when Arrow releases Freddy versus Jason, I have a feeling this is like the second New Line Cinema Jason film that they released in all those years. It's only a matter of time before Arrow does Freddy versus Jason. To me, out of the 3-day release so far, it's a close tie between Jason Goes to Hell and Friday the 13th, 2009. It's a close tie. It's a close tie between those two as far as looking great to me. Those are worth it. This one, however, you can skip or wait for a sale. But I have a feeling that Freddy versus Jason comes out. I have a feeling that with Mr. Wu's directorial efforts on that film, I have a feeling that's going to be a stunner. I just have a feeling that's going to be a stunner, and I cannot wait for it. But anywho, that's what I got for you guys today. So if you guys love the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.